You know, I often hear that they keep venomizing everything. Eventually, it's just gonna get stupid. I guess we're there. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X. Today we're looking at a Venomized Ghostrider. I know how that sounds, but look, there is actually comic basis for this. Now, this is not the traditional Ghostrider that we all know and love, not Johnny Blaze. It's actually Robert Reyes, and it isn't the Spirit of Vengeance. It's a long story, and honestly, there's not a lot of information about it. It was a pretty brief appearance in Marvel Comics. In fact, we don't even know how the symbiote got on Ghostrider. But we're going to look at this custom statue today. Custom means it's a private unlicensed commission, and clearly I love Venomized characters. Venom is one of my favorite characters. I love all the symbiote stories in Marvel, not only the stuff from a long time ago, but even the new stuff today. And what's really cool about this is, you know, Venom is kind of an anti-hero. Sometimes he's evil, sometimes he's good. He wants to eat brains, then he wants to protect the innocents. Well, this Venomized character didn't care about innocence. In fact, that's who he targeted in his brief stint as a symbioted or Venomized character. Now, to me, it's always weird to say Venomized because technically Venom is Eddie Brock and the symbiote suit. So a more appropriate title would be a symbioted Ghostrider, but that just sounds really stupid. Kind of looks stupid too, but also badass. Alright, so let's dive into the review. We'll start with concept as usual. Now, one thing about Ghostrider, I always want the traditional Ghostrider, Johnny Blaze, on a motorcycle. I think that would be a little bit too much. I've owned a number of Ghostrider statues, actually. Check out this video right here. He doesn't have a bike. And even on the cover right here, you don't see a bike. He's actually riding on a car. And this isn't based on that cover from that Robert Reyes story. But let's take a look at it. So it's a basic street. You have a street here, and then you have the flames because it's Ghostrider. But intermixed with those flames is some of the symbiote suit. So you see some of the tendrils. Not too many of them on the street, but they are spreading a little bit until you get him in a museum-style pose. And I believe this is actually based off some artwork I saw on Pinterest. But he is a large fella, so this is quarter scale. But the symbiote generally makes characters a lot larger, and that is certainly the case here. You see the symbiote all over him. You could almost think that this is Venom. Until you get up to the waist, you see the spikes coming out where his belt was, and then you see the chain on fire. The chain is wrapping all around him. He has a variation of the Venom symbol on his chest, which again points to the fact that this is Venomized, not symbioted, so I kind of just contradicted myself. But a crazy Robert Reyes portrait. And there's a few portrait options we're going to look at. It has Ghostrider, it has Venom, has a tongue that's on fire. Both of them do. I think that's pretty badass. So, concept. First of all, I'm not rating the concept as is a Venomized Ghostrider cool, because that concept already existed. I'm rating the concept of the statue. I think it's very average. It's about a 3 out of 5. It's not bad. It's not good. He's standing there with the chain. He looks badass because of who he is, not necessarily because of the statue, in my opinion. Now let's talk about the design and the display ability, but before that, here is the unboxing and assembly. One box, a little bit of wear, because I did buy it secondhand. Had an art box on the top here with white foam and straps. I also taped the outsides, which made it a little harder. Now, things were kind of thrown around in there, and nothing was really packed good, so no foam or bags protecting anything. Kind of surprised me. All right, quarter scale, meaning in real life he'd be 4 times larger. The base itself is about 16 inches the with the parts that stick out about 21 inches, so quite a bit more. And then about 15 inches deep. And he is almost 27, 28 inches, so very, very large. Like I said, these Venomized characters, for the most part, are often much bigger because the symbiote does that to them. Now, you do have a few display options with the portrait. First is kind of this combination of not only Ghostrider, Venom, but also a metallic jaw. And again, I don't know the Robert Ray's Ghostrider story too much, but I think it has to do with him. I might be wrong. And then if you wanted to, you could remove that fiery tongue. The other portrait, more of a traditional Ghostrider, probably the one I'm going to display, has the fiery tongue. And again, you could remove it if you wanted to. Now, you saw the packaging. Mine wasn't the best. It wasn't packaged very well. I did buy it secondhand. It had 2 small issues. One, a big scuff on the fire up front, and then also a broken flame. The issue, I don't know if you saw, as I was putting the chain in the front, it almost pushes the arms out a little bit, which makes the seam line in the arms, here's a picture of that, even bigger. So definitely some design issues with this guy. While I know the symbiote suit makes him bigger, this is a big statue. It's 28 inches for a quarter scale Ghostrider statue. I almost think it's too big.
Hey, that's what she said.
I do like the 2 different portraits. I think it would have been cool if there was a light up feature. Also, another bust display for the other portrait. You know, that Loki piece I showed earlier is from the same group that did this. I love that they had additional bust displays. So design, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 as well. It's not really blowing smoke up my skirt. Let's look at the paint and sculpt. That's definitely where it shines. Here's some close-up video. Starting with the fire, I think they did a really nice job painting the resin and polystone here. It's all solid, but I like the mix of colors. It gives a lot of movement to the fire. And I like that it's darker. A lot of times there's too much yellow. I don't think they did that here. And you're going to see that in the other areas. You'll see a little bit more yellow, but I really like that. Concrete looks fantastic. Not only the gravelly sculpt they gave it with the cracks, and then the symbiote with kind of a shine on it, flowing everywhere. You see some darker colors in there. Almost looks like a reflection of the fire. Really smart how they did that. Again, some beautiful work on not only the flame colors they use, but just the sculpt and the movement of it. I really like that. Large manhole. Sorry, it's 2023. Large person hole right there. Really like the base, but I like the creature. I didn't know whether to call him Venom or Ghostrider even more. So the suit looks great. You can see like striations in the suit. So much small detail in there. I think that it really gives you the feeling, hey, this is a suit. This is really well bonded to the skin. And then they have the symbiote kind of moving all over him with just kind of a shine on it. Like I said, really gives you that illusion that it's moving. Guy definitely needs a pedicure, but I really like the shine and the enamel on his toes. I like how the spider symbol actually goes down through the whole suit, and that is accurate to the character in the comic books you'll see. These spikes, I like how they changed from, you know, kind of a biker jacket spike into almost claws that you would see, or even horns. The chain looks great, really old and worn. Looks like a real chain. It's actually painted resin. I think that's pretty cool. And then here's where you see more yellow on some of the flames. And I like how the chain is not only wrapped around him, but it's on fire almost everywhere, even wrapped around his biceps there. You see more of those spikes that would normally be on his shoulder pads turned into that real enamel bone. I like how some of the symbiote is also coming off of him. Pretty cool. Let's look at the anatomy is fantastic as well. I think they did a really nice job. Again, look at all that detail in the striations of the suit. Got a little white piece there. There was a lot of foam on this guy. So look at the portrait. First of all, I think the fire looks absolutely phenomenal, but then he has that metallic mouth and those teeth. A little small, but they do a great job accentuating kind of that Venom look. Great job with the color on the eyes. And then the flame on the tongue, I really like that. Almost makes it look like it's alive. A lot of the same comments with the other portrait, but it looks like a skull. I like how it's almost burned to death, but then you see kind of the venom coming through. I love both portraits. This one has the collar around it. Crazy well done on both the paint and the sculpt, in my opinion. Paint, I really like it. You know, I've talked about this a lot of times with any character that has flames. Sometimes I think translucent resin for the fire looks good, but if they paint the fire right like they did on this, I think that's really good. And it's not just the paint, but everything. I think it's a 5 out of 5 on the paint. I'm really impressed, especially with factory paint. Sculpt is pretty badass too. Like I said, the badassery of the character is exemplified by that. I think the sculpt is a 5 out of 5. And again, that doesn't mean it's perfect. It just means it's wowza. This is the part of the review I normally talk about value. I'm not going to. So I paid $2 grand for this. I don't know what the original retail was. They only made 40 of these. Now this isn't a highly sought after character, so I can tell you that's not a very good deal right now, and I'm not going to rank it. At least there's comic basis for Ghostrider being venomized. With almost all my venomized pieces, actually I think all of them, I have a matching slab. If you want to see what they look like, check out this recent room tour right here. While clearly he's not in it, if you want to see him next to the other pieces, check out the Extreme Channel social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The link for that is in the description below. Now, does he have the X Factor? Is he a 5 out of 5? I like him a lot better than I thought I would, but I'm still disappointed. And I know that's a contradiction. What's really bumming me is his size.
That's what she said.
Now I got to figure out different display space. I didn't think he would be this big. And I'm a little disappointed with some of the design issues. But he's still a pretty badass piece. I think overall he's a 4 out of 5, but you really have to love Venom. I could see a lot of people hating this because they wouldn't want to combine Ghostrider and Venom. Although they were in quite a few comics together. And one thing always really gets me too is Venom's weakness is fire. Ghostrider is on fire. So how does that work? We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in. Throw down in the comments below what other character would you like to see venomized. If you want to see the ones I have coming in, make sure you've not only liked this video, you've subbed to the channel and hit the bell notification. Talk to you soon. Take care.